Hey, what's going on, guys? Butterbar here. Welcome back to the channel. So you guys all know I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. I love Resident Evil 3, and the fact that Resident Evil 3 Remake is coming out in just a few months, I am super excited and amped for this new release. Now, sure hell enough, I'm at the fire station yesterday and they dropped a new trailer for Resident Evil 3, and this is actually showing Nemesis, showing more of the characters that are involved in the game, as well as 2 new locations and monsters and weapons. So there's a lot of detail that's actually released in this trailer, but it goes really fast. So today I want to give you guys my breakdown and thoughts about what this trailer showed, some of the things that I'm kind of anticipating now with this release, and now seeing some of the details that were left in this trailer. So the way I'm going to play it is I'm going to try to play it in slow motion. This is going half speed, so it's going to sound kind of weird, but I'm using that as a way to be able to slow down on some of the details and give you guys my opinion about what was actually in this trailer. So let's get started. Alright, so first off, it starts with Nemesis. Now again, we did see this in the very first trailer that released, however it was in first person, but now we are seeing it in that third person with Jill. You see Nemesis just creeping along the hallway. Now, one of the things that was noticed yesterday, and then I was like, oh my god, like that was something I was like, I did not see that in the trailer the first time. As Nemesis is making his way to Jill and walking very slow, notice up here on his head, this is one thing I did not notice. As he makes a lunge for Jill and takes a swing at her, oh man, I gotta crawl it back, hold on. There we go. Look at this. And now Nemesis, apparently when he gets dropped into Raccoon City, actually has this wrap. Whatever suit he's wearing, plastic garbage bag, whatever you want to say it is, he actually has this wrap extended onto his face. And not only his body and the trench coat that we know from Resident Evil 3 back in the 90s, but whatever wrapping that he has around him is actually attached to his face as well in the very beginning of the game. So it'll be interesting to see how does this wrap remove, because again we've seen other footage of him without this wrap. So what is the reason behind it? Why does he have it? And then also too, how does he lose it? Then also you also see this heart protection. This is one thing that's very interesting. We remember again back in the 90s where it was just a trench coat with Nemesis. Now he's similar to what the Tyrants are looking like with the exposed heart, but he also has this protection around the heart that's exposed out in the body. So it is a very interesting take on Nemesis, kind of going away from the original depiction of him in that trench coat back in the 90s, but it's kind of on the canon of he is kind of like a tyrant. He does have that exposed heart, and also Umbrella knows that as a weakness, so they're trying to cover it up. So it's a very interesting look, and one of those cool things I just did not see in the very beginning of being able to see it for the very first time. So again, freaking Jill is just getting her trash thrown around. We've also seen that scene in the very first trailer where she gets thrown out in the alleyway. I think Brad sells like Jill, and Jill looks up. So I'm assuming this is the same alleyway where she's still trying to run away from Nemesis. From what I understand, Nemesis is going to have a better AI controlled, I guess, character, where a better AI to follow you, go through walls or doors or something like that. I mean, that's one thing that I still want to know is, you know, in Resident Evil 2, where there was exposed walls, who created those holes in the walls? Was it Tyrant? Was it Mr. X? Or was it Nemesis? So hopefully we'll get that answered, and we'll kind of get into that too when we go to the breakdown of some of the footage that we got from the police station. But this is again a very interesting take on kind of the intro to Resident Evil 3 back in the 90s, where it did start out in an alleyway. She was getting thrown out of a hotel or apartment building that was on fire. So again, kind of giving us a little bit more storyline of what was going on. Now we do see this. We all know that Nemesis has his tentacles. Not only does he have the rocket launcher, he also has another gun that's actually included in this trailer as well, but he also has the tentacles. Now this is one way that he actually executes somebody. I won't get into it if you haven't played the original game. Won't get into it, but he does kill somebody with these tentacles, but we've also known them to be his melee weapons from the original game. So it's interesting to see them coming back, and he's actually able to take Jill away. Freaking hits her with a tentacle and pulls her in. I actually want to stop here real quick because everybody knows, at least that played the original, the power station that was a key location to get certain unlocks to go different places throughout Raccoon City to kind of continue on the story. What do you see in the background? You do see the power station. You see some of the power towers that are out there. Now, Where's its location? Where is it located? Why is within Raccoon City, at least with a depiction of the city. Dude, I love this, man. The city streets, the chaos that's happening. I want this so freaking bad. I always was so curious about what was actually happening outside of Raccoon City. So the fact that we're seeing this, we're seeing the devastation, we're seeing the destruction, now we're actually fighting Nemesis now is something that is very interesting and super exciting. And also, too, you guys see his head wrap is now gone. So how's it going to be taken off of him? We don't know, but again, this is one of those things that we saw him using the tentacle, bringing her, slamming her against a car. Dude, again, Jill in the very beginning of this trailer is just getting smashed. Now, this is very interesting. Now, Carlos is actually coming in, but this is, again, one thing that somebody else noticed that'll slow down right here. Actually, if you see down in the middle of the screen right here, it's a rocket launcher, but the rocket launcher is something similar to what we saw in the very first Resident Evil game where it had 4 slots for rockets. So, Carlos is coming in here, running to Jill's rescue. Does he use it against Nemesis? Where does it come from? Maybe, could we see this as maybe like one of the infinite rocket launchers you might be able to unlock? I don't know, but again, it's very interesting to see it in the trailer. You see it right there as Carlos is making his way to Jill. I'm assuming saving her from Nemesis, but it'll be one thing to kind of see how they actually meet up in Resident Evil 3. So he runs over to her. Also, can I say, I actually really enjoy the look of Carlos. I think Jill looks good too, but I like the redesign of what they actually made Carlos look like. I think looks a lot better from the original. Gives him a lot more character, gives him a lot more you know, rough around the edges types of look. So I really do enjoy it, but also I really do like the way they actually changed Jill's look up as well. But this is Carlos rescuing Jill. When does this happen in the game? We don't exactly know. But look at your boy right here, Nemesis. Now, is this from the apartment building, or is this from Carlos hitting him with a rocket launcher? Again, we don't know. But from the fire that's on top of him, I want to say this might be after the apartment complex that's on fire, and maybe this is what actually removes that mask off him, that extra clothing around his face, to maybe show a scary depiction of what is chasing you. With the mask, not so scary. It might just look like a human. However, when this thing gets taken off, dude, holy crap. You see the mouth, you see the nose that I know a lot of people kind of talked about. It's like not really the greatest thing. I'm a little iffy on the nose, the redesign, but you see the mouth, the eye. Oh my, dude, it's however they plan on actually depicting what his face looks like after that mask gets removed. Is one thing I'm very interested to see. But I think this might be right after that apartment. Maybe as he's walking out, it gets burnt off and he takes it off. But very cool, badass depiction of what Nemesis is going to look like. Now we'll kind of skip through the trailer. I know it's on half speed, so trying to get through this. But, okay, here we go. So let me slow this down real quick. So, now this is actually something that we didn't see in the original. In the original game, you didn't see this meetup of the USBS, or I think that's how it is. You know, what is it? The Umbrella Security Force. So you did not actually see them actually enter into Raccoon City. You saw Carlos actually call out to the STARS office, I think just through a radio transmission, but you don't know exactly how the storyline is going to be going with them entering into the Raccoon City Police Department. It will be interesting because will we run into other people? Will we run into characters that we actually met in the first Resident Evil game, or games like, you know, Outbreak, other characters that we actually met through other Resident Evil games in this Raccoon City storyline? We don't know. Somebody did make this a very good observation that there's no bodies. There's body bags in Resident Evil 2 in the courtyard area of the entrance of Raccoon City. There's nothing there, but they're also entering in the door on the side that actually has a lot of marked graves. So again, are we going to be seeing that? What is a timeline? Even though we know kind of the timeline, Resident Evil 3 happens before Resident Evil 2, but what is the timeline on the chaos that actually happened within the Raccoon City? Are we going to be seeing a lot of police officers kind of scrambling around, not knowing what's going on? Are we going to have a siege of the Raccoon City Police Department? We don't know, but this is a cool expansion on the storyline of what is going to be happening in Resident Evil 3 and what we actually get to look forward to. So, you have Carlos, you have a teammate rolling into the police department. I was really hoping you'd be able to open the door and see exactly what was in it, but you can't. So, this is actually a really cool thing. So, I think all of us know that played the original. We know that we eventually get on a subway car. Now, how are we going to actually be traversing around the city? How are we going to be traversing around Raccoon City? We don't know. Is it going to be close to the original? Are there going to be new locations? There might be some new locations, but going underground, going to the subways, going on the streets, that's going to be kind of what is depicted on what's going to be happening. But if we actually go underground into the subways and see exactly what the subways look like, will be very interesting. If you guys don't remember, the intro to Resident Evil 2 actually shows a subway station, at least underground subway, of seeing the subway cars rolling back and forth. We all remember, at least we never actually saw any subways in the original Resident Evil 3 game, so this will be, again, a really cool depiction of what happens in the breakdown of Raccoon City as the virus and the zombies were hitting everybody and all the monsters. This is really cool. I like this. So, in the original Resident Evil game, we all remember that there really was not too many survivors. There really was not that many survivors left out on the streets or left out anywhere else where we were like, oh, hey, there's somebody alive that we can kind of chase after and figure out what the hell's going on or save people. Now, the subway car that we all know and like from Resident Evil 3 actually has people in the subway car. There's actually people, civilians, actually trying to get there for safety thanks to the Umbrella security forces. Now, I'll be interested to see how we all know what happens to the subway car, at least the people that played it in the original game. But what will happen to these civilians? Is Nemesis going to get them? Are there going to be infected? Are there going to be dogs, hunters? What is it going to be? But it'll be interesting to see what happens to all these civilians that are trying to seek refuge that we know maybe not. They won't survive. Kind of, if it's going to go in the timeline of the storyline of Resident Evil 3 and kind of what happens to this subway car. Now, Mikhail. I love this redesign of Mikhail because he looks grittier, he looks older, he looks wiser, and he actually looks like somebody that actually gives a damn. If you guys know the storyline of Resident Evil 3, you know one of the traitors is actually among the security forces. So Mikhail actually looks at somebody that actually gives a damn, actually cares about the mission, cares about the civilians, but also too cares about surviving and wanting to fight to survive and get the hell out of there. So the redesign, but also the building on the character and what they have done to make him feel more real and more caring and more assertive about we're cut off, we need to figure out what the hell's going on. It's a very interesting take, and I like what they did with that character. I love all of the edits and all the add-ons to the characters from the original game. And again, I cannot say this enough. Carlos looks amazing. I really do dig the design, the redesign of what Carlos looks like. Jill, again, looks great. You have some cuts. I'm assuming that's from the Nemesis fight. Now, I have to slow down here. So, we don't know exactly where this is. I'm assuming this is probably the hospital because you have operating over here at the top. I'm assuming this is the hospital segment, but freaking, he got his M4, he got his AR assault rifle, shooting zombies. This is one thing I was super excited about. I wanted to see some gameplay about this because Resident Evil 3 had the AR, which was a lot of fun to play with and to enjoy and to see what that looked like in Resident Evil 3. So you have the redesign, you have it made it look very realistic, and it looks like it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun to actually use in Resident Evil 3. The remake, the one thing that I'll be kind of looking for is that in Resident Evil 3 back in the 90s, it was percentage. Your magazine was considered, percentages. It wasn't, you didn't know how many rounds you had. You just had 98%, 85%, 40%, stuff like that. So how it will be depicted in Resident Evil 3 remake, don't know, but I'm very happy to see that this rifle is making a comeback and it looks badass. Now this is one thing that I thought was like, what the hell was this? So I don't know if you guys know, but you guys see the shotgun pattern of that gun? Zombies right here. Jill's aiming. All of the pattern of that shotgun lands all around the zombie. I was like, excuse me. Do we have better guns in this game? Because that would scare the shit out of me if that would happen. Because they didn't do anything to that zombie. So I think there are going to be upgrades to the weapons, similar to what Resident Evil 2 had, where there was different upgrades you could actually get in Resident Evil 2. How we see that and what type of upgrades we will get, we don't know yet. But hopefully we get some upgrades to where the spread of the shotgun does not completely miss the zombie that we're trying to kill. So that's one thing I saw. I was like, holy crap. Now, here we go. We all know the hunters from Resident Evil 3. Now, from at least what's been stated is that these hunters will not be leaping kind of like in Resident Evil 1 did, where they were leaping all over the place and being able to try to flank you that way. From what I understand, they move more reptilian to where they kind of slither around, sneaking around, trying to get the advantage on you like that. They won't be jumping as much. I kind of understand that it would kind of remove the focus of holy crap, now I have like an airborne target coming at me. Now I gotta readjust my aiming and whatnot. But dude, they look menacing as all can be. The giant claws, and actually seeing what hunters look like with this new engine, with a redesign, something that is just, that's gonna, I don't care. I've played the game before, not the remake, but I played the old one. Hunters were still scary back then. They look terrifying in this new trailer, but it's really nice to see that, and that's gonna be a son of a bitch to kind of go after.
Why is she
Now we get even more of the characters that are involved. Here's Nikolai. We all know Nikolai is kind of a douchebag, but we actually do see the kind of redesign that they took with Nikolai, keeping the gray hair, but they kind of made him a little bit younger from what he looked like back in, I think, even Raccoon City, Operation Raccoon City, and even all the way back to Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Kept his gray hair, kind of kept his look-ish, but he does look a little bit younger than what he did look like in previous games. So, dude, he looks like a total douche. I don't know, that's just me, but I like it. I like it. We know he's a bad guy. We know he's a mean dude, and I think they depicted that very well in this trailer. And it's also nice to kind of get a good look on what he looks like. We didn't really get that too much of a good look in the first trailer, but to see what he looks like now, looks freaking awesome. Out of anything, the redesign and the updates of what these characters look like look really good. Now, in this, and this is one thing I'm glad I'm slowing it down. Let me actually go back to it. So, Claire and not Claire, Jill and Carlos are down in the subway, and she is still being chased by Nemesis. So how much is Nemesis going to be chasing you out throughout the city? No freaking clue. No idea. How long is he going to be following you? Not any clue whatsoever. It's like Mr. X. I don't know. But it's crazy to know that he's still following her, even to the subways. So how long is it going to be lasting? Is it going to be kind of short, the way that Mr. X was doing? Or kind of like the original game, where Nemesis was your enemy the entire game? So I don't know. Will we have will we be able to take a breath of air, or are we just gonna be chased nonstop? I don't know, but damn, dude's right there, freaking just coming around the corner, about to come get him. So very interesting, even though Carlos doesn't want to leave. So now this is the reveal that I think everybody was looking for, was the flamethrower, the giant tank with a flamethrower. Oh my god, so we know that he has a rocket launcher, now he has a flamethrower, and again, using his tentacles. So this is one of those things that's just making me wonder, how is he going to be traversing around the area? How is he going to be actually moving around? Now, Jill's actually in this construction area. We don't know exactly if this is a new location or maybe some place that is just redesigned from the original game, but using his tentacles to move around the map, how is it going to happen when he chases you down as a character? But again, seeing his face, looks like he's been taking a lot of damage. I don't know how far away or how long into the game this is, but you do see some damage from wear and tear on his face. The giant fuel tank of the flamethrower, and the flamethrower on his left arm. Dude, intense, man, intense. We know he has a rocket launcher. Will he have maybe a minigun from the movie? You guys have watched Apocalypse, Resident Evil Apocalypse. He had a minigun. What if maybe that's another gun that actually added to his arsenal? So I imagine there's going to be a lot of boss fights. Now, in Resident Evil 2, we do know that there's a lot of boss fights, and that Resident Evil 3 does kind of have that. Back in the day, there was a lot of boss fights with Nemesis, but with the update that Resident Evil 2 got, the remake, some of the boss fights felt better, felt more unique than kind of what the original back in the 90s did. I'm assuming this is going to be kind of similar to some redesigns to boss fights, location-wise, but freaking, we gotta take this bitch out, man, so we can get Nemesis. But dude, this is just, it's awesome to see everything that they plan to have in store for this, and Nemesis freaking just let loose on it. Oh my god. So that's the breakdown. We see an extenuation of the trailer where Jill is in a car and slamming into Nemesis. Now again, we don't know exactly when this is actually happening in the storyline. Hold on, I gotta go back to the, well, hold on, let's see if I can actually get back to it. That was actually a really funny thing. So I'm assuming this is early on, because actually, if you see, hopefully I can slow it down to the right time. So look right there. He still has that mask on. So I'm assuming this is early on in the game, maybe even the intro of the game. But he still has his mask on, so this maybe not at the apartment location yet. So we got Carlos. He's still trying to call into Jill. Again, we don't know if that is... When is the meetup? When does this all happen? But at least at this time right now, Nemesis still has his mask on. And still... We don't know. We don't know. I'm assuming that is prior to the apartment chase scene. But... guys, that was it, man. That is the full breakdown of the trailer. I think it just kind of continues on, yeah. But yeah, man, you got this in the very beginning of the game. It is going to be intense. I'm super excited by it. I'm glad that we get more of these trailers. And honestly, I'm looking forward to more and more of some of the reveals. Will we have a playable demo? I hope so. Resident Evil 2 did, so... hopefully we'll get a Resident Evil 3 demo to play through. But also, too, one thing I'm really enjoying is, you know, getting on Reddit, getting on Twitter, and seeing a lot of the callbacks to the original game, whether that being city locations, signs, and different things that I've actually seen through the community posting different things. So, continue to do that. If you guys want to find out more information, get on Twitter, follow stuff on Reddit as well. But super excited. Resident Evil 3 cannot come fast enough. It looks like it's going to be a really intense game, and man, I am pumped. Super excited. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? What are you guys most excited about? Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys all next time.